Just to get a sense of how the media is covering this, protesting the selling of occupied land that a synagogue did the other day. Let's hear what Van Jones, who used to be a leftist, had to say on CNN.
The Jewish neighborhoods in LA are well known. Nobody is confused where they are. So if you show up there wearing keffiyeh, you show up there with your face covered, you show up there chanting river to the sea, that would be just like a white person running up with a Confederate flag in Harlem. You're not trying to start a conversation, you're trying to start a fight. Stop doing that. Don't do that. We don't want more violence. We don't want more fear. We don't want more terrified people.
It's absurd because it assumes that a keffiyeh is a symbol of antisemitism or of hatred, and it's not. It's Palestinian garb. And it is a symbol of the movement to liberate Palestine, but that's a liberation movement. It's not an anti-Semitic movement. You can call me a self-hating Jew, right, but it's hard to call me an anti-Semite. Although Robert F. Kennedy Jr. just did. I was on a Zoom call with him recently when he personally accused me of being a Jewish anti-Semite.
What happened? What's the story there?
A Palestinian friend of mine who knows him personally became very disillusioned and disappointed with him when he started talking Zionist talking points and getting cozy with Shmuley Boteach. And she requested, would you talk to a few friends of mine? And she set up a Zoom call with herself and me and two other friends, one Palestinian lawyer living in the States and one Israeli expat friend of mine living in the UK. And we spoke with him for an hour and we endured hideous abuse. The guy is a nasty Zionist and a nasty bully, and I certainly will not be voting for him. Back to your question. Anti-Semitism has become a canard. It's a completely overused and misused word. And, if I can segue from that into just the level of the histrionics that's going on, it's absolutely crazy. We have on the Teaneck Town Council here, where I've spoken a few times, 4 of the 7 council members are Zionist Jews. And I think they'd all admit that and not object to my saying so. But one of them in particular, this Hillary Goldberg, has become a real crusader for supporting Israel since October 7th. She says, well, when you say from the river to the sea, we know what you mean. It means kill Jews. Well, it doesn't mean kill Jews. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free means free for everyone, for Muslims and Christians and Jews, as it always has been. Well, as it always was prior to Zionism. She focuses on the word intifada. Intifada supposedly means kill Jews. No, it doesn't. It means uprising. And uprising is something that the Palestinians have the right to do, morally and legally. Under international law, an occupied people has the right to exist. This histrionics has gone to making false claims about the demonstrations that I have participated in organizing. We have been accused of busing Arabs in from Patterson. Now, I'm in Teaneck, New Jersey, where there's a large Jewish population. There's also a large Muslim population right here. But 8 miles down the road is Patterson, New Jersey, where there is the second largest Arab American community in the United States, including a very large Palestinian population.
And amazing Palestinian food also.
Absolutely. Let's go have dinner there. So I've been accused of busing Arabs in from Patterson and accused of paying them appearance fees and giving them free meals to come to my demonstrations. And it's completely ridiculous because passions are so high for Palestine these days, you don't have to pay anybody to come and demonstrate to support Palestine. And, another thing that we've been accused of is attacking synagogues. Well, we've been having these demonstrations at synagogues because that's where the real estate events are. Okay. And I've told them, look, have the real estate event down the road at the Marriott because I'd rather demonstrate there anyway. But if you're going to have them at a synagogue, expect to have a demonstration at a synagogue. We had another demonstration at a synagogue when they had a speaker from the Zaka ambulance people who, the first responders on October 7th, the ones who made up the lies about beheaded babies and serial rape and children tied together and set on fire in groups. And the people are still, the Zionist Jews are still talking about this stuff. They're completely ignoring the 35,000, more likely 40,000 people who have been murdered in Gaza.
Or the fact that those other claims were debunked.
They are completely ignoring the fact that these claims are debunked. But we knew that they were lies, and we organized a demonstration against the speaker at Zaka at the local synagogue where he was speaking. And the irony is, we didn't bust in anybody, we didn't pay anybody, but the Zionists bust in Jewish Zionists from a synagogue in New York City out here to Teaneck, New Jersey, to participate in a counter demonstration. So they're doing the things that they accuse us of doing.
What is it? Every accusation is a confession. People say
That's
that
really what it seems like, because there's so many of the things that they claim the Palestinians do are just ridiculous, and then they do it themselves. I mean, for example, using children as human shields.
Yeah.
I mean, if you know Palestinians, you know they love their kids. This is a way to dehumanize the Palestinians. Meantime, there's any number of incidents where the IDF has used Palestinian kids as human shields.
Yeah. But it's not called that. They don't use that language, the media, to describe it.
But, if I could also just comment on the videos that you showed that were really shocking, about Remo's experience. And I just want to say that I experienced much the same thing at the Celebrate Israel parade in New York City. And unfortunately, that was not captured on video. But normally, we are given a space on Fifth Avenue, which is closely guarded. And because of the heightened security, we were not given that usual block. But at the last minute, they said, okay, you can go to this particular block in the staging area. But there were no barricades, and there was police protection, but we were exposed. And it really became extremely abusive. And at a point, we marched up Madison Avenue to go from the staging area to the place where the parade was concluding. And I was walking with Sael Kayed, who is the local director of American Muslims for Palestine. He was assaulted twice. I mean, got in actual fistfights twice. The second time I witnessed that the guy did it, I was prepared to make a statement. I was prepared to testify. The cop that took him let him go. Numerous abusive incidents. A friend of mine had a Palestinian flag ripped out of her hands. I had my sign ripped out of my hands and thrown to the ground. But it struck me particularly the incident with the Zionist woman who grabbed the cell phone and then blamed the guy for touching her. After this demonstration, Sael and I went to a restaurant and sat outside. There were various Zionists sitting with us that we found out very quickly because they soon started accusing us of supporting terrorists and supporting rapists and on and on and on. And my response is, we're not having this conversation. We're here to eat. Leave us alone. And they absolutely refused. There was one Zionist Jewish couple who finished eating while we were still eating, and they walked away. And this woman had to come back and put her middle finger right in my face. I mean, an inch from my nose, and held it there. So I took my arm and I just grabbed her fist, which is just a reaction. And from the table behind me, a Zionist Jew said, "I saw you attack that woman. If the police come, I'm going to testify to it." So more of exactly the same.
Yeah. Just
histrionics and blaming the victim. And I'm watching, as a Jewish person myself, I mean, number one, just watching this genocide in Gaza is beyond horrifying. But knowing the history is horrifying. And having been raised with a collection of lies instead of the actual history, I mean, I'm not a young guy, but this situation has been a part of my life for my whole life. It's been a huge part of my life because I was raised on the wrong side of the issue. But particularly now, in the past several months, since this October 7th, since being aware of the genocide that's going on and watching the Zionist Jewish histrionics here in Teaneck, New Jersey, and everywhere, I'm just watching my Jewish people descend into depravity. And it seems like, they're just sucking the world leaders into it with them. I'm specifying Zionist
Yeah,
Jews.
right. Yeah.
Because there's been Jewish objection to Zionism for the entire history of
right.
Zionism. Okay. And I am a Jewish objector to Zionism.
Yeah.